Hello, I'm Eric Ederer, and I'd like to share with you a musical instrument that I've designed called the Nautilauta. It's basically a synthesis of several older types of instrument, some from a European heritage and some from a Middle Eastern one. The idea behind the Nautilauta is to make it easy for people from several different musical traditions to share their music with each other, and for these musicians to be able to expand the tonal palette of their own music while bridging these different traditions. This instrument makes both traditional music and experimental fusions playable on a single instrument that's familiar to each of the music cultures involved. This very instrument is the first Nautilauta and was built by luthier Josh Humphrey in Eugene, Oregon. The top is made of redwood, chosen partly because of its association with the Pacific coast, where it was conceived and created, and partly because of its wonderfully resonant qualities. Part of the unique sound of the Nautilauta is due to its having the sound hole not on the front, but on the side. This is known as a sound port. A sound port guides the music directly toward the performer while allowing the whole of the soundboard to resonate without interruption, like a drumhead. This feature also helps eliminate microphone feedback in amplified performances. To stabilize the resonance of this sort of top evenly across its surface, the insides take advantage of another recent innovation, this one from guitar luthier Greg Smallman, lattice bracing. This increases the Nautilauta's overall volume and sustain. You can also see that there's an angle to the body, thinner at the bottom and wider at the top. This helps eliminate standing waveforms that can subtly reduce some frequencies in instruments where the top and back are parallel to each other. The back and sides are made of Claro walnut, while the neck is mahogany laminated around two thin maple strips and a walnut core. The body is designed in the shape of the golden spiral, which is a shape commonly found in all kinds of organic growth patterns in nature, for instance, in the body of the sea creature called the nautilus, which is where the instrument gets half of its name. Although other builders have used this shape before, the idea seems a little slow to catch on, but I found that the increased area, especially around the bass strings, brings out the bass and middle ranges and increases the instrument's overall resonance. The Nautilauta has 10 strings, set in 5 doubled courses, like a cittern, or the medieval oud, and the Baroque guitar. Although the frets are modeled on the movable, tied-on nylon frets of the Turkish lavta and tambur, these are fixed metal frets like those you would find on a guitar or mandocello. This allows for high-tension metal strings, which would cut through tied nylon frets. Together, this combination of high-tension metal strings and fixed metal frets in this configuration is what makes the Nautilauta unique. Now let's hear it in action. Now, before I get into the multicultural aspects of the Nautilauta, I'd just like to tell you a little bit about myself and how it is that this came together. After some years working as a guitarist and composer in Southern California, I began earning my PhD in ethnomusicology from the University of California, Santa Barbara. The majority of my research has taken place in Turkey, But in addition to classical Turkish music, I've spent the last dozen years continuously studying and performing several different kinds of music from the broader Middle East, including Arab, Persian, Jewish, Armenian, and Greek music as well. Since the work for my dissertation took me deep into music theory, I had the opportunity to compare and quantify a lot of the differences between each of these music cultures' individual systems of intonation, which differ slightly from one region to the next. The Nautilauta's frets are an attempt to make a single instrument that can reproduce the most important pitches from 4 different major regions. The maqam-based musics from Turkey, from the Syrian and Iraqi traditions, and from the Egyptian and Levantine traditions, and also from the classical Persian dastgah tradition. Now, of course, there were a couple of compromises, but I think that the Nautilauta reaches its goal very well. In addition to Middle Eastern music, it's also great for many traditional musics of the greater Mediterranean basin, both in North Africa and in Southern Europe and the islands, because the Nautilauta is in just intonation. Just intonation is the tuning system that's based on the naturally occurring harmonic series. When you divide a string in half, and gently touch the halfway point while plucking the string, the first overtone or harmonic can be heard an octave higher than the fundamental pitch of the open string. If you do the same at 2/3 of the string length, you produce the pure perfect fifth. And other divisions produce the other tones in a general scale that is naturally in tune with that fundamental pitch. As you can imagine, the placement of the frets must correspond exactly with these divisions in order to get the correct pitches. Because the Nautilauta is in just intonation, the frets correspond exactly to the harmonic series. For instance, here is the harmonic for a major third. And here it is fretted. Now let's hear the same thing on a guitar. Now the frets on a guitar are set in what is called a temperament, in this case 12-tone equal temperament, and this means that there are only 12 tones per octave, and the repetition of the octave, and that each of the intervals is exactly the same distance from the next, so that the relationship between this and this is the same as between this and this and this and this, all the way up the octave. In a nutshell, an equal temperament is a strategic untuning of every pitch. 12-tone equal temperament, which is the standard for all Western musical instruments, was designed in order to be able to modulate and transpose from any key to any other key. This was crucial for the development of functional harmony, but it means the whole system is literally a little bit out of tune. Since Middle Eastern musics require more than 12 tones per octave, and all of them are in just intonation, the Nautilauta is a great instrument to explore the possibilities of playing in just intonation. So if you're interested in having a Nautilauta of your own, contact me or luthier Josh Humphrey, and let's get one started. Custom fretting is available, just ask. I even have a plan for an electric version if there's enough interest. Finally, I'd like to thank the over 100 backers of the Nautilauta Kickstarter campaign undertaken in February of 2012. Without your generosity, this exciting instrument would not exist. Thanks also to Josh, who finished the instrument in June of 2012. And finally, thanks to you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed the Nautilauta and will get to enjoy one again soon.